Hey everybody, welcome back to the American Fan Podcast.
Dude, we got treats. This is going to be the part of the episode.
You get to watch us get fat live. Oh, sorry about that,
I'm
guys.
already fat, so it's okay.
Yeah, so am I, but I'm like, we're going to get fat live. Here's some good content for you guys.
He brought over a bag of, he was holding out on me. He was like, yeah, I brought over a bag of treats. I was like, well, let's eat it on the air.
That bag of treats is simplifying.
I was like, let's have the
we got
35
nerds
people
clusters
watch
ropes.
me eat a Reese's Piece. So,
watch, is our YouTube channel going to get demonetized if I say if I'm eating a piece of candy or something?
Oh, that's true. They're all branded. We should have taken them out of the packages. Who cares? Who cares?
We get demonetized. We could just start another. It's not like we're starting with much anyway.
Monetized. Like, no one gave me any money to build this barn. I'll tell you that much. But anyways, we were going to talk about the fourth or the last episode or part of the episode is always about, it's called, Fletch's love language. It's a little bit about the current state of dating, about love in general, between the genders, like how we're kind of missing each other.
We know we said it was going to be like John Wick bants, but that's going to be a part of it, but it's mainly going to be like movie bants and love stories and our general opinions on the dating industry.
Yeah, I always go over what happened in the past week and in the last week. Remember, the previous one was about the girl with the air conditioning in her car, and she wouldn't
you guys remember that
15
story?
In a car that wasn't air conditioned to the restaurant, which was air conditioned. So just screamed high maintenance and troublesome. So I averted that cannonball. I decided not to go out, but she wasn't happy with that. But that's too bad. This week was crazy. I don't know if the listeners know, or anybody out there in the ether of the world knows, but I love trivia. I've always been a guy that likes to learn. I'm curious by nature, so I host trivia shows, okay? So I do it for this place called Brewdog. I'm going to give them a shout out. It's in Ohio City, in Cleveland, Ohio. And we did a Taylor Swift trivia night this past Monday. So I got another one tomorrow, today being Sunday. But this past Monday, almost a week ago, I did a Taylor Swift trivia. It was insane.
Your biggest show, right?
It was a crazy show. I had like 86 people doing trivia. There was like 21 teams. It was just crazy town. It was a great time. I mean, it just took a while. Normally a show takes me about an hour and a half. I was there for like 3.5 hours. It was like a rock concert, basically. So anyways, the reason I tell you that is this is where the latest dating debacle, D-squared, the dating debacle went down. So I had a great show, busy, like I said, but lots of great people, good vibe. Most of the players, obviously, were female because they were Taylor Swift fans.
They were Swifties.
Yeah. But so afterwards, a girl comes up and she goes, "Hey, do you have? You were hilarious. Like, you're so much fun on the microphone.
You know, I put on a show at trivia.
You were so much fun at the show. Like, great time. I had a great time. Like, do you?" You have your own radio show? No. You have your own podcast? Kinda. Like, here we are in my barn. But yeah, I was like, yeah, kinda, sorta. And we interacted a little bit. We'll call this individual Jesse.
Just for security reasons.
For security reasons.
No definition can be.
That's
for what little it's
her
worth.
name's Jesse. Jesse, I hope you watch this. Go to hell. Anyways, but we interacted great. I mean, very attractive girl, cute as a button, bubbly, seemed like, a good thing. Out of the blue, we're just talking. She goes, "Hey, do you want to go grab dinner or grab a drink sometime?" And I was like, I thought Ashton Kutcher was somewhere at Brewdog in the building. Like, you've been punked. Because I looked around. I'm like, with me? I felt like Robert De Niro in Goodfellas. He talking to me? Like, and she goes, yeah. Do you
Wait, you're talking to me? That's from Taxi Driver.
Is it?
Yeah, that's not from.
Is it Taxi Driver?
Yeah, it's Taxi Driver.
It's De Niro, though, right?
Yeah, it's De Niro.
All right, so I was on the right track. You know what's funny? I just saw Goodfellas, a clip of it the other day. Me and my friend Gary, that's our favorite movie. Like, in terms of interaction, we always quote from Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I mean, It's the scene where he's like, "How am I funny?" You know.
Oh yeah, that's the best scene from the movie.
So no, he's a big boy, Anthony. You know, what'd you say? How am I funny? But anyway,
and he's like, "Get the fuck out of here, Tommy!" Like,
yeah. Oh, it was great. So that's where the Goodfellas thing came from. It was probably Taxi Driver. You're right.
Where he goes and talking to me, like in the mirror. Yes, that's Taxi Driver.
That's Taxi Driver for sure. So good job. So we're at the trivia show. She goes, "Hey, you want to go grab a drink? You want to go grab dinner sometime?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." I was like, "How cool that she initiated the number exchange. That hasn't happened in a while. Most of the time in today's world, females aren't going to do that." So I was actually kind of, I don't know if the right word's excited, but I was
thrilled.
Kind of,
you were
kind
intrigued
of excited. I was definitely in a positive frame of mind, right? So flash forward. Now that was Monday night. We exchanged numbers. Tuesday rolls around. I know you're not supposed to. I mean, most men will tell you gotta wait 3 days. I don't know. I'm in my 40s now. I'm too old. I don't, you know.
There's no rule book.
I don't have time for that. I just messaged her the next day, right around the same time. I was like, "Hey, Jess, it's Fletch. You know, how are you? You know, how was your day? That type of thing." Go back and forth a few times. I was like, "Hey, how does your weekend look like?" I was thinking about today before we filmed this. I would have went out with her, but it didn't happen. Let me get to the rest of the story. So she literally is like, she's like, "Yeah, I love that. That would be cool. Like, let's go grab like a drink and some dinner." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Where do you live?" Oh, she only lives 5 minutes away. She's
from Brewdog or from you?
No, from me.
Oh,
she
wow.
lives in the neighborhood. She's like literally 5 minutes from me. I'm like, this is not real. This is fantastic. This is even better. I mean, she turns into a girlfriend. You could walk to her place. This is great.
Essentially.
She's down. She's down to like actually go out. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I'd be excited too.
Then she throws what I call the curveball.
Ooh,
like major curveball into the conversation. So I'm thinking, all right, like where do you want to go out? When do you want to go out on Sunday? She goes, "Well, before we decide that, I need to do a show with you." And I'm thinking, well, I do trivia shows. That's where we met, right?
Yeah.
Or I mentioned that I do the podcast, kinda, if you want to call this. This is fun for us, but this is technically a podcast.
Yeah.
So I was like, do you do a podcast or do you do trivia shows too? Wow, that would be super ironic. I mean, is that what you're talking about? And she's like, no. I was like, well, what do you mean show? I have to do a show with you. She's like, yeah, you have to do a cam show. And I was like, what? Wait a minute, what? I'll never forget my face. I know what my face looked like. What? So I was like,
I can just envision it right now.
I have to do a cam show. What do you mean? And she goes, well, I'd like to like show you my naked body, my vagina.
Oh,
and I want to show you how flexible I am. And
even worse than the first time you told me. My God.
I want to show you how flexible I am. And I only charge for 40 minutes. I only charge $100. So, and you know, you could Venmo, you could PayPal. So I'm like, oh, hey, this is perfect. I got my prop, my phone. So I'm like this, and I'm like, no, I can't believe I said this. I had a couple of friends I told this story to, and they're married, and they're not exactly happy with their marriage, but that's beside the point. They go, are you insane? Yes, pay the $100. She's super hot. You know, I was like, something inside me just said, no, I just want to go out and grab a drink and have dinner and get to know you. I don't want to watch you on a cam show so I can go on a date with you. And
that body traditionally,
she actually got offended at me. Like, wait a minute, like, that's how messed up. The whole point of the story is, this is how messed up the dating world is now. I go, well, this is not in my world, meaning Fletch's world. This is not normal. And she goes, oh no, this is very normal of how things
It's another
go.
Tuesday for her.
So I ask you, the viewership, all 30 people, but hopefully it's growing. But
hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, over time, anybody that, is this normal? Like,
put it down in the comments and tell us what you guys think.
Am I that far disconnected from reality and the dating world of just the normal conversation, interaction with women, females, that would be considered like a next step? I'd have to do a cam show and pay for it, mind you, before I take the person out on a date.
It's like an entrance fee. Okay, you can enter in, then you can see where things go from there.
I'm still sad because, I mean, she was really hot. And I could have saw everything.
Looks can be deceiving.
For 40 minutes, like, for a mere price of $100. I mean, but I just thought ethically, morally, I know.
It's not the right thing to do.
I've come to a realization at this point in my life, this is actually depressing, but I might actually have a soul. And I just said, no, that's not the right thing to do. So
no, it's not. I told
I
people.
didn't go on the date today, and I didn't follow through. And she goes, oh, well, I'm highly offended that you don't want to see my cam show, so I don't want to go out. And she kind of hung up, and that's the last of it. I don't know. I still have her number, but I mean, it's one of those you put in the cookie jar for a later date. Maybe she goes and becomes a nun or something, and she has a realization, change of heart about her. But I mean, is that normal to you?
No, that's not normal. That's just not normal, right? At all. I mean, my whole thing is this. Listen, I'm not going to preach and claim I'm holier than thou and say, what's wrong with people and, having sex before marriage. Look, I have a son and I've never been married. So I'm not, again, I am not holier than thou. I'm not going to look at someone as the worst person there if they say, Nick, I had some crazy news. I'm like, what? And they say, I had sex, okay, before marriage. Okay? Like, I'm not going to look at them that way. Now, I will tell people, I would be surprised if there was someone who says, I could never do that before marriage, and anyone who does that is just crazy. And then they'll be like, oh, then I'll be a little shocked. But generally speaking, I'm not going to frown upon someone. Now, I'll tell people they shouldn't do it. Whether you've done it before, you haven't, and you decide to change your ways and stuff. I'm not going to look at someone crazy if they did. I'm like, look, shit happens.
I have to admit to the audience, I've done it before. Before marriage.
Indeed. But anyway.
Unfortunately.
The point I'm trying to make is, I'm still going to say that, if I had to make a recommendation to anyone is, yes, you should reserve your body for marriage. Now, in a regular American Western society, I understand that most people are not like that. So at the very least, if I'm going to have a middle ground with the people like that, I'm at least going to say, at least reserve your body for someone who you're dating. Like, you guys you're exclusive to each other. Wait until at least you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, if you're interested in someone and you guys want to consent to that activity, at least make sure that it's a relation between you two people at the very least. If I'm single and I'm dating a woman, I don't want to see her body until she's at the very least my partner. Because what happens is, and I'll say this for both men and women, when they willingly give their bodies like that, I find them less valuable. Because that means, I kind of like this. I don't know if you ever watched the Marvel TV shows like Daredevil or Punisher or anything.
I haven't.
They're good TV shows. I haven't watched all of them, all the seasons, but they're good. before like the MCU made their own TV shows on Disney Plus, and what the Kingpin says on the Daredevil series is I forget what it is a woman. I'm going to butcher this a little bit. It's along the lines of a woman that can easily be claimed has no value at all. Now, as a Christian, I think we're all God's children. So I'm not more valuable than Fletcher or the girl that he referred to, that he was talking about, or something like that. I'm not going to make that claim. But
I am.
If I okay, if I'm looking at it as a moral and a social order, that clearly if you're being celibate and you're reserving your body, at least for someone who you very much cherish, you care about, and you're wanting to spend the rest of your life with, there's something to be said when it comes to how many partners you've had. And I know you probably disagree with me on this, which I think we actually debated this last episode, I believe it was, at least one of the segments. The dating segment is, again, if a man has sex with 5 women in a week and he tells me about it, I'm gonna be like, like the hell, man. And it's the same thing with women. If a woman tells me I had sex with 5 men with me, I'm gonna be like, you know. Now I understand the rules are not the same, but I do hold them to the standard of you shouldn't be giving your body to other people willy nilly.
I hear you.
Do you see what I'm saying? Now,
I see
obviously, it's different. Like if a man managed to have sex with 5 women, like that is a bigger deal because women are the gatekeepers of sex. But if a woman has sex with 5 men, it's like, okay, like that's easy for you to do, but men have to work harder for it. All I'm saying is, both men and women, you shouldn't be just giving your dick willy nilly to hundreds of women that don't even know you and who could give you diseases and would probably need to you in this current moment if they found there was some kind of benefit for them. And then women, you should be opening your legs to men who would do the same thing, give you some kind of disease, or will abandon you right on the spot. They get their fill from you. Like, that's not... You need to be careful on who you choose to mate with. Leonarda Joni, that female comedian I told you about, you guys should check her out sometime. She's absolutely based, very... she's funny. As I said, she is a comedian. She actually said... You know what we should do? We should ban birth control and child support. And I'm like, whoa, why is that? And she goes, because you know what would happen if you banned child support? Those legs would be closing up and they wouldn't be giving it out as easily. And it's true. There's not enough, there wouldn't be enough incentive to be like, okay, well, this happens, I'm just going to collect money from the government. It's like, no. Get rid of that, and I think people will choose their mates wisely. Now, look, I'd rather have there be birth control than abortions, but that's an entirely different thing. What this woman did, it's like you're asking for $100 fee to even say, oh, then I'll let you take me out. Give me an effing break.
That's
like
right.
that's insane. Imagine if I said, Fletcher, that to go out with me, you had to spend $100 on me. Are you insane?
I would have spent $100. We would have went out to dinner. I'm a dude.
You probably would have spent like that amount for
her.
Like
we would have went out to dinner.
I would have recommended it.
It would have been $100. No problem. I just didn't. I couldn't
not
understand.
For a camera service.
I can't understand the prerequisite of, well, you have to watch me on camera first before we go on the date. And I'm like, that to me just seemed extremely bizarre. So I turned it down, and that was my declaration to everybody that's listening, watching. And there was something else that happened this week, which again put a little stigma or put a little curveball into my week of dating or attempted dating, which is more important to announce. So I'm sitting there, I'm talking with my one buddy, and his girlfriend's there. And it's just insane. It's hilarious, though. I don't have any ill will. It's just hilarious and ironic. So I'm sitting there, and she's like, yeah, I got my cousin. who just moved back to town. I was like, oh, really? And I'm just curious by nature.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what's her name? Oh, her name's Allie. And I was like, oh, cool. Do you have a picture? This girl is effing adorable. I almost fell out of my chair. So I go, wait a minute. Your cousin looks. Yeah, she works at a hospital. She just moved back to town. She's like living with her parents to get on her feet. And I'm like, is she single? Yeah. I'm like, this is another thing. This is so great about society right now. I was like, did it cross your brain that your good buddy Fletch is single
Sounds like
too?
it's a little last minute for that.
At least, at the very least, maybe you throw the dart at the wall and say, hey, Allie, do you want to meet my good friend Fletch? Like, Fletch is a good guy. He's a nice person. Like, would you like to go out, grab a cup of coffee? What's the worst thing that can happen? She's new in town. She knows my friends. And she's got a job. She lives with her parents. She's probably just wanting to get established in the community. I was like, worst thing that can happen is she's a friend. You know what I get from my dude's girlfriend? Oh, I never thought of that. So, again, I asked the audience tonight, what is wrong with this? There apparently is just so much wrong with what's sitting here, all 199 pounds of this mess, that it never entered her brain. It doesn't enter any of the dating app brains that I interact with on Hinge, because those people aren't reacting to me. I had another lady that was like, I asked a question on Hinge, because I'm still on Hinge for at least two more weeks.
You shouldn't be on any of the dating apps, dude.
This is
Why are
crazy.
you down?
Yeah.
Guys,
Why
why
do
are
I
you
do
online
this?
dating? You
Why do
don't
I
know
do
the
this?
person. Meet him naturally. Come on, guys.
Why do I do this to myself? So I asked the question.
You guys must like torture or something, because that's the equivalent.
This
of
is
it.
another one. I forgot all about this. This is funny that we were talking about this. I asked a question. We matched. I mean, she looked attractive on the outside. On the inside, not so much. But I just asked the question and she got mad. I just said, like, what are your hobbies? Like, do you have any hobbies?
Are you kidding me?
And she's like, wow, that's really personal. How else am I supposed to get to know someone?
What? Yeah, how?
It's just a train wreck out there. Anyways, shout out to my friend's girlfriend. I'm not gonna name names, but you know who you are. And if by chance she's watching in her parents' house before she goes to work at the hospital, hi Allie. Saw your picture. You're pretty adorable. But anyways, that's the current state of dating. I got treats. I don't know if you wanted to jump into a little bit of like movie talk while I eat my Snickers bar.
I absolutely did. Given what I just showed my girlfriend recently for the first time ever, it's my favorite movie of all time.
All time. That's a huge.
It is a
statement.
huge one, and I've rewatched it every time, and I still.
Can I guess what it is?
Yes.
The new rendition of Fantastic Four.
It's not even out yet. It's not even out yet.
I know,
dude.
he lambasted that. He does not want to go see that. But I know what it is. It's got to be Endgame, correct? Yeah?
Avengers Endgame, that is what it is. It's truly a magnificent flick. And it's not just because, I'm superheroes, because there's plenty of movies that I watch that I love that are not superhero related. I still say that one of my favorite movies of all time is from the 70s, and that's the original Jaws. So, but no, Avengers Endgame that movie is so special for reasons that no other film has or ever will have. I truly believe that.
Wow, that's a big statement.
I think the only thing that would have made it better was one particular scene or two things. Okay, so one scene and one element. I think if they had incorporated the fighting of the Winter Soldier movie with that Captain America fight in Endgame, that would have definitely made it even better. And then the element that I told you about was they definitely could have made, and I'm not saying what he did was noble, that was very noble. They could have made Hulk actually Hulk and not half Hulk, half Banner doing the stupid dab. Oh my god, so
They
cringe.
kind of pacified Hulk. It's almost like taking Hulk and putting a pacifier in him in Endgame. But I mean, it wasn't bad. I agree. I know what you're saying.
It's not like it was terrible. I'm just like, why'd you do that to Hulk? That's just the way it is. But and the way I think they utilized the time of that movie so perfectly, because if you can divide into 3 segments, the movie does not feel like 3 hours. So the first hour, if you guys haven't watched much, I think mostly at this point probably have. So, spoilers. Anyway, the first hour is about.
Can I interrupt you for just 2 seconds?
Go ahead.
It's not about Endgame. I'm really upset. He's hoarding the Reese PC. That's what I wanted.
It's not Reese's Pieces. It's regular.
Oh, well, that's even
Here,
better.
have some. Have some.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Welcome to the American Fan Podcast, guys. Why can we talk about Endgame? You're like, hey, you're hoarding the Reese's. But anyway, so the first hour is, continuing the events of Infinity War. Dealing with the aftermath of everything that took place, and then the idea of, for lack of a better term, time travel is implemented. Again, lack of a better term. It's not exactly time travel, but it is time travel. It's complicated. If you haven't watched it, watch it to find out. So then the second hour is, as Ant-Man would call it, a time heist. And then later, Iron Man adopted the name of that idea. And that's them pulling it off, which in and of itself is an hour. And during that segment, all the characters are getting closure for their events, whether it's how they grew up, family that they lost, and maybe things that they missed out on. So Cat, it's about what he missed out on due to him being frozen in the lake. Tony dealing with, like, the death of his father and what he might have missed out on and seeing what he
that
was.
part of that movie.
And yeah, and then, Hawkeye
Powerful scene with his dad.
and then Hawkeye and Black Widow, they're saying, like, look at everything I've done. Look what everything I have. I think it makes sense for us to do what we want to do. All of these events that took place, them getting closure was genius.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final segment was them succeeding, dealing with enemies from the past in the present,
Mm-hmm.
and then every single hero from the MCU all appearing together on the big screen. A thing that I did not think was possible. You couldn't have done it better than the way they implemented it.
It's one of my 5 favorite movie endings of all time.
And it ended.
It is tremendous the way they. Who were the brothers? What were the
Russo brothers.
That-
Russo brothers.
The way they tied the universe and the movie ending all together, and it was done so seamlessly. It was done. It was just done so beautifully. I mean, there's lack of a better word.
Another thing I want to
It
ask.
was like watching poetry on film. It was beautiful. Downey Jr. at the end, the way he acts that out. Very few movies. It's about 4 movies that have made me tear up, not cry, but my eyes fill with water. Endgame's one of them.
Yes, and actually, I want to say add something to that. I can't believe I skipped one of the best scenes out of superhero history. Was Cat wielding the hammer.
Oh, dude.
And you know what sucks about that for me is the experience almost would have been perfect had one thing not happened, and that was I was slightly spoiled on that one leading up to the movie because I was scrolling through Facebook at the time, and like just by sheer coincidence, I wasn't like going fast. So I was like, I was like a little tired, and then I saw a comment that said, "When Cat wielded Thor's hammer, I flipped," and I'm like, "What?" And I'm like,
Really?
and I tried to just forget it. I didn't think about that for the entire movie, but then the hammer was it. I'm like, oh, and then once, it was insane. But then fast forward to the final battle where he goes,
Avengers
assemble. And that was something I'd waited for 4 years because they teased it in Age of Ultron. And another thing I wanted to reference was there's some epic foreshadowing that happens throughout the MCU to that moment, and that is the argument that Iron Man and Cap have in the first Avengers movie, and that's when Steve goes, "You're not the type to make the sacrifice play. Be a hero like you. Everything special about you came out of a bottle."
Right.
And clearly that didn't happen.
No.
Because Cap wielded the hammer, which no technology could have gotten you to get.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And then Iron Man, he gave his life to beat the enemies and bring everybody, make sure everyone was safe. And I'm not gonna lie, when I showed my girlfriend that movie, I gotta tell you, man, you say you just teared up, and I just teared up the first 2 times of watching it. Dude, I cried this last time. Cause
I
it's
know,
like,
you got more emotional when you saw it with your girl.
because it's like,
Yeah.
I have a little different perspective. Now, like, Iron Man's a father, but, like, it hits deeper than just him being a father. Like, Spider-Man had just, he was one of the heroes that was brought back from the snap.
Right.
And he just reunited with Iron Man, and in a way, Iron Man, like, he finally... Basically, you can argue that Spider-Man lost, essentially, another father figure of his, and Pepper going, "It's okay, you can rest now." Like, there is a weight I could tell that Tony was feeling. Something that a father would wield. Like, he has to make sure he keeps going for his kids, for his family and everything. And it's just... And then, during the funeral, where they show, like, the part that says proof that Tony Stark has a heart. I'm like, this goes all the way back to the first Iron Man.
Right.
I mean, it was... And I never watched credits. I never, ever. Like, they show, like, that long list. I'm like, that's cool. Like, okay, fine, good movie, and then we'll wait for the credits. Like, I don't pay attention, though. I will watch Endgame's credits from all the cast members, starting from... I forget which name they start with. But then they make their way to the original Avengers.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Renner and stuff. And the music that plays... The movie is a cinema masterpiece.
No, it's one of the best movies.
I can't get over.
Which is why it's so, in terms of in comparative analysis, when you see the new superhero movies that come out, it's like, what is going on? This is nowhere. It almost ruins everything for you because it's so good, and now you see a movie like the new Superman. I'm not going to trash it. It wasn't horrific, but it wasn't good. It's a C movie on a good day,
Well, I think the closest movie that came to Endgame, the closest he had, and again, it's
in the comic book universe,
the Marvel universe.
Marvel?
The closest thing you would have, actually, comic movie, as a whole, the closest thing that came to it was probably Spider-Man: No Way Home. When
good movie.
Oh yeah, it's a great film because it
really
did stuff that I did not expect, but it did not have the level of magnitude that Endgame had. Now, you can compare it because they bring back elements that you didn't think were ever going to come to the MCU, and they did. I'm like, oh man, that was terrific.
I'm a big Thor Ragnarok. That's my number 2, and then I'd slide No Way Home a notch below that. And then you go from
Ragnarok
there. Then it's just a free-for-all from there. I mean, they're all kind of... There's a lot of good movies, don't kid me. But those are my top 3. But I love the the scene in Ragnarok where he understands when Anthony Hopkins, when Odin comes to talk to him in his dream state momentarily, while who's Kate Blanchett? What's the character's name?
Hela.
That's what I thought it was. I mean, me and my brother can sympathize with this because of our own relationship with our sister. Boy, is that a rabbit hole we don't want to go down. Ooh, Dr. Finkelstein and me and my brother will have like a 5-hour conversation. Tell me, brother, what were you the god of again?
And then you have that lightning strike, and you hear the drums and that Loki smirk, and then a great Led Zeppelin track plays.
They picked the perfect song.
You couldn't have picked a better one.
That's why that scene in particular. The movie is great.
It's already great.
It's already a terrific film. I mean, especially when we went to go see Love and Thunder.
Oh,
so excited.
No.
And then the disappointment from that film. But that scene is so perfect, but then they picked the perfect song. Dude, every time I watch that, I want to stand up. I want to stand up and go like...
You can ask Morgan, I was like, you remember when I used to, once it showed the Loki face, when the drums aren't hitting? And I was so excited to finally show. I'm like, dude, I've been waiting to show Ragnarok, Endgame, Infinity War. Man, Infinity War, that movie is something else in its entirety.
I just love that scene when Odin talks to him, and he's at his lowest point. We've all been there. I've been there several times in life, to varying degrees. Sometimes at the lowest of low, where you think you're going to lose your life. But I mean, aside from that, just at a low point, and you have that self-admission moment where you're just like, well, I'm not as strong as you.
And he goes, no.
The father's reassurance in only a way that few actors can do, because Anthony Hopkins is such an excellent actor.
Yeah.
And he comes back, no, you're stronger. Like that. And then, dude, I remember seeing that for the first time. I just wanted to take off myself with a hammer in my hand. I was like, let me go to my barn and get my hammer and just take off. I'll fall flat on my face and break my nose. That's the second one. But I just wanted to take off after watching that scene. It's crazy. So, yeah, good stuff. Dude, what else? I mean, I got the sugar. I'm on the roller coaster. I gotta eat more sugar. I'm gonna fall asleep on camera. You gave me diabetes. Look at this. It looks like a raccoon is in the middle of my.
Well, they can't see your pile, but I mean, it's probably they don't see my pile over here either. So if you were probably wondering, hey, where's been putting all this?
I gotta go get real food and some.
Yeah, I got some real good food before I
smoke a cigarette or something. I gotta stay awake. But anyways, anything else you want to comment before we wrap up? And then we'll come back next week. Next week's podcast. This is exciting. We're gonna do it on a Friday.
We are gonna do it on a Friday because
my buddy here is going on a little.
I'm going out of town for a week, so we're probably gonna do just probably the standard one, or we might even do.
I think we'll do a little bit longer.
Probably either a little bit longer or a little bit longer and. Do another one.
It'll be like an episode and a half.
Yeah.
Give them a little teaser because there's going to be an extra few days before we do the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think that'll be fun.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning on this episode. It's always great having you guys support us and check this out. Like, comment, subscribe. I know I haven't been doing that before, but please like the video, comment, subscribe, share the channel with everyone because, again, we want this platform to be for everybody of all different backgrounds and a free exchange of ideas about movies, about pop culture, politics, religion. All your guys' support, whenever you leave comments, whenever you have likes or views and stuff like that, it really is appreciated. So thank you guys for checking out this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.